It's okay, baby. It's okay. It's okay. See, you just need to be held for just a second. Okay. We'll see if I can really pull this thing off. Not a Bible reading video. Every video I have filmed lately has been a Bible reading video. This video is a very specific video for a very specific purpose. Oh, baby. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, baby. It's okay. I'll pay attention to you. I'll pretend like I'm telling you all about it instead of the real person. It's okay, baby. It's okay, baby. I'm right here. I got you. It's no big deal. I've got you. Could always start the video from right here, or maybe I'll just post the whole stinking thing. Who knows, baby? Who knows? Who knows what Daddy's gonna do? Alrighty. I have no pants on. Not sure if my bottom half is in the video, but I have no pants on. I put a shirt on. And I just grabbed the first one in my drawer, and as I was walking back over from the closet to this room, it is my GVJH Mariners t-shirt, which is symbolic. It was so purposeful. I purposefully put this shirt on. It is symbolic because this video is ideas for a buddy of mine who let me know yesterday that he had gotten laid off. Maybe last week or something. 2 people told me that they got laid off yesterday. Not yesterday that they got laid off, but 2 people yesterday told me that they got laid off, which is something happening in the country. Oh my goodness. Mr. Nate is so nervous. He's so scared. What's going to happen, baby girl? Oh my goodness, are all of my plans going to crumble? Maybe, but probably not. Okay, I'm just going to say his name because there's 0 people on this channel, and there never will be, because the purpose of this channel is just a spot for me to get my thoughts out. So, ideas for Keith. Here's my list. I'm just going to read them, and then I'll describe them one at a time. Smart switching, podcasting, nomad, sell my van, bookkeeper launch, demo on Rob, electrical on Rob, Bible reading podcast, video game store / record idea, youth pastor, college pastor, coffee airstream, and Yuletide. Those are all of my ideas. Halfway through writing this list, I looked at things I'm protective over. The things I'm protective over is John, Albert, but not quite as much. Nomad, but we'll talk about that in a second. Canvas and thread, and really what I realized is, but I'm actually more protective over Hannah, who I have talked to about joining in on the fun on that particular idea. I've already given that idea to somebody else, is really what the problem is. Solo Bible reading podcast. Basically what that is just me saying, I don't want to add another person to what I'm currently doing with my Bible reading podcast, but I could. Kaya's Bridge is something I'm protective over, and the Rhyme Bible read through, which I had a great idea today to couple the Rhyme Bible read through with Nomad, but we will talk about that in a second. I think I figured out how to make Nomad something I can do and something that is not limited by the number of people who sign up for it. We can get money for those who sign up for it. We can get money for those who, sorry, that's not what this video is about. We'll make a whole separate video, Kaya, about how to make Nomad a positive thing. I think that's what I'm going to start using this channel for, is just using it to brainstorm ideas on how I can make my life better and the people around me's life better. Maybe that's a great reason for this particular YouTube channel. We call this one Shoot from the Hip. And Kaya, you have not been born since I've made a Shoot from the Hip video. The last time I made a Shoot from the Hip video, baby, was the day you were born, when I was on my drive to Mr. John, which is my number one on things I'm protective over. The last time that I made a video like this was the day you were born. And this is what we do, baby girl. We go like this and we go, shoot from the hip. Pew, 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 pew. Cool. So, all right, back to the other side. This part is for Keith. Everything up to this point, I mean, the read through was for Keith too. I'm just gonna read them through one more time. Ideas for Keith: smart switching, podcasting, Nomad, sell my van, bookkeeper launch, demo on Rob, electrical on Rob, Bible reading podcast, video game store / record idea, youth pastor, college pastor, coffee airstream, and Yuletide. Those are all of my ideas, sweet baby Kaya. Those are all of my ideas. Those are all of my ideas. My brain has begun to work a little bit differently lately, and I don't want a job ever again. I actually never ever want to go back to work. I said this to Ty French maybe about a month ago, or maybe a month and a half ago. I said to him, before Kai was born, I said, I want to, by the time my second child is born, get to the point where I never have to go back to work again. I really would like to do it by the time my first kid is born, but that seems a little unrealistic. Now she's been born. I'm not very good at words and the definitions of words, but that's okay. Now she's been born, and I never want to go back to work again. And I'm just going to figure out how to make that happen. I'm not going to work anymore. Okay. Here is, at least not in the way that I've done it in the past, I'm never going to take on a job as an electrician again. And I've got one person who wants me to go and do that right now, and I'm actually just going to say, nope, sorry, I'm not going to. That's what's going to happen, baby girl. And I'm going to figure out how to do that tactfully so that I don't lose that person as a client in the future. But I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to decide I'm not going to do that. We'll see if that works out. Wow, I've got a scratch on my computer, Kaya. I've got a scratch on my computer. I bought this computer the day before you were born. Wow. Wow, Kaya, I bought this computer the day before you were born. Crazy. Okay, starting from the top, smart switching. I have been doing smart switching. I have made a pretty decent hourly wage doing smart switches. I knew zero about it before I did my first smart switching job. Not zero, I knew a little bit. I knew tons about electrical, not tons. I'm just going to be completely honest with everything in this particular video. I knew some about electrical. And then someone wanted to do smart switching, and I just did it. I've thought a lot about how I could make a successful business with smart switching. The problem is I don't actually want to physically do the work of the smart switching, and I haven't figured out how to substitute myself, the one who knows how to do the smart switch, but I barely do. Like, it wouldn't take that much effort to teach someone else how to do it. I haven't found anyone to teach how to do it to make that a successful business, because I don't need to make that a successful business. I have too many other ideas that I want to pursue. But that is an idea that I've put some thought into, that I think I know how to make that successful if someone was interested in being taught and someone was interested in running it, and I could provide the idea and take $0 or take a small fee, whatever, it doesn't matter. We can always work something out with whoever I give my ideas to. And there's an article that I'm going to hand you today when we go film our podcast that Joe from church gave to me, and it was a great article. Anyways, beside the point. The next thing is podcasting. You and I are already kind of starting a little bit of that. I have so many ideas for podcasts, and the ideas just keep on coming and keep on coming and keep on coming. And it's like, if you wanted to just actually try to do that, I would love to help you figure out what podcast you can make with nobody's help. What I've been noticing, and that's what I wrote on the other side, solo Bible reading podcast. What I've been noticing is you and I are going to do a podcast today, but there's always going to be a problem, because eventually it's going to start to feel like a job, and I never want it to feel like a job. I want to commit to things and do things because I decided I want to be there and I want to do it, and I don't want my synergy is probably not the right word. I don't want my momentum to be interrupted by someone else deciding, well, actually, I don't want to do it. I want to go in a different direction. Basically, what I'm saying is, with my Bible reading podcast that I do, I just want to do it just myself, because that's one factor, and I can control everything right here. I can decide to suck it up and just do it anyways. I can decide, well, shoot, I'm behind a couple days, but I'm going to catch up. I can do all of that right in here. I don't want to involve another person unless I decide to do it in a healthy way. And I have an idea of how to do it in a healthy way, because it's more interesting when there's two people talking rather than just one person talking. But I can talk about that another day. Okay, the next thing is Nomad. I said I'm a little bit protective over it, but you know what? I'm going to set her down for just a second, because my cell phone's gonna die, baby. My cell phone's gonna die. I forgot about that. We're still recording. We're only 11 minutes in. That's a positive thing. Wow, baby, you're sleeping. This is crazy. This is incredible. This is exactly what I was hoping would happen, is that you would just fall asleep to me rambling and rambling and rambling. I already do this to your mom. Your mom already falls asleep when I start rambling and rambling and rambling. She already falls asleep when I ramble and ramble and ramble. I'm going to set you right there. You're just going to sit there and look pretty. Wow, you look so pretty. And now I'm going to sit here. And now you can definitely see that I'm in my underpants. You can definitely see I'm in my underpants now. Okay, where was I? Nomad. It is a thing I'm protective over. But when I was writing these lists, I thought a little bit about it. I'm protective over it to the point of, I like that I started it and I want to keep it going because it's my thing. But, you know, I got some advice from Bailey Platt a couple years ago. He said, don't make it just the Nate and Caro show, because eventually you'll want to leave and you won't have anyone to pass it on to. He said that to me. That was really, at the time I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. Right now I'm actually kind of starting to see that, and I'm seeing a different angle of it. I'm seeing the angle of, I don't want it to be the Nate and Caro show to the point where it just doesn't happen because Nate doesn't want to do it, which is never the problem, or because Caro doesn't want to do it because she's got other things going on. It's nothing negative about her not wanting to do it. She doesn't have to want to do anything. But again, that's kind of back to what I was saying before with the whole podcasting thing. I want some projects that are limitless, and the only limiting factor would be myself. But I do want other projects that are not limited, and that I don't need to that I can rely on other people, because it's always better with other people. And I think that's my things I'm protective over. That's why I would stick my solo Bible reading podcast on things I'm protective over. I actually would say John and my solo Bible reading podcast and Kaya's Bridge are the three things, because Kaya's Bridge has to do with the solo Bible reading podcast. Those are the three things that I'm protective over today. I don't really want to give up any control on those three specific things. The Rhyme Bible Read and the Nomad is kind of a coupled idea. I really want to be the person to do it because I care about those things, but I could give up some control on those things. So again, the point of this whole list is, is there anything on this list that you, Keith, would be interested in doing? And I should have started from the beginning. The smart switch thing, I think it would take only a little bit of effort, and you could make, I'll say that at the end. I will say the things that I think you should jump on at the end. Demo on Rob. Sorry, actually, sell my van was the next list item. Sell my van. I have a van. I've had it for 4 years. I've wanted to sell it for a long time. I think I'm 2 years late on the registration. It barely works. It needs to be just taken to a mechanic, fixed, and sold, or just decide, like someone just needs to decide, hey, this is trash. I haven't done anything with it because it's difficult. We have a few cars like that at my dad's property. We've got maybe 3. I've got that car. I think he still has my brother's red car. I think there's at least 4 cars at my dad's property that are just crap cars that someone needs to just make decisions on and fix them and sell them if they're valuable, or get rid of it. Like, that's my whole idea is, are you at all interested in flipping cars is one thing. And I've also actually thought a lot about how to flip cars and how to do it with the auto shop that's downstairs, about just taking things to the auto shop and telling them, hey, can you just, this is all I want from you. I just want you to tell me this is crap so I can get rid of it and junk it because I'm getting late on my registration. I just need you to tell me this is not worth fixing or this is worth fixing. And if it is worth fixing, you take all the money, because actually I don't care about the money, because it's the time. I don't want to spend the time to figure it out. Okay, the next thing is bookkeeper launch. Bookkeeper launch would be my #1 idea that I have for you that I think you should execute on. And I'm going to cut this particular part out. Now, maybe I'm not going to do that. It's too much work. Bookkeeper launch is my #1 pick. Are you interested in starting your own bookkeeping business? That would be the pitch. Are you interested in starting your own bookkeeper business? If you are, bookkeeper launch is for you. And it's free because I've already paid for it. I've already bought it. I have enjoyed it, but I don't think, I want the benefits that are going to result from it, but I don't actually want to do the work. And the work is going to pay you. So it's not even, like, that's not even the problem. And it's actually going to be, bookkeeper launch is actually the greatest idea for you specifically. Because basically you're going to be doing exactly what you were, not exactly. No, pretty much exactly. You're going to be basically doing exactly what you were doing before with your remote job. You a little bit hungry? We gotta go get you to mama pretty soon, yeah? How about I hold you and we can maybe prolong the inevitable? You wanna try to prolong the inevitable, baby? Let's prolong the inevitable, baby. Let's prolong the inevitable. It's okay, little mama. It's okay. Daddy's right here. I love you so much. You're the best baby Kaya. You're the best baby Kaya. Okay. Bookkeeper launch is the best idea that I have for you, and it is also something that I would love to have access to, because the thing that you actually want to sell from that is your connection to the business. Like, you want to have your foot in the door with all of these businesses because you're their bookkeeper, but also when they need something, you have the ability to find them things that they need, basically, is what the whole bookkeeper launch idea is all about. And I haven't thought about bookkeeper launch until recently, and I bought bookkeeper, I decided to buy bookkeeper launch when I was at the Yoneli's house, which I know that you're going to stay there over this weekend. I'm actually just going to give you my login information and say, hey, are you interested in this? Because if you are, you can have it. That's something that I'm actually so serious about that, because you actually can just have it. I'm 0% protective over that. You may have it, because I would love to be able to say, hey, do you need help with bookkeeping? I can help you with that, and then not actually have to be the one to do the bookkeeping itself. But everybody needs money, and the way right now that I'm making money that I don't want to in the future is I'm doing remodels. I don't want to be doing that forever. I would way rather do other stuff because I think that there's more money, easier money to be made other places. But right now I need to make some money because I've got a sweet baby girl to provide for, but I also want to keep a good enough view on the future to make sure that I'm setting us up so that later when you go to kindergarten, I don't have to work. I don't have to work when you go to kindergarten. I'm already trying not to work. I don't know that I won't have to work, but I'm really trying. I'm really trying, baby girl. I'm really, really trying. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Bookkeeper launch, number one pick. The short-term things that I have is I'm doing some work on one of Rob's jobs, on a Rob job. I need help with the demo, and all that I've personally signed up for is the demo and the electrical. If you would like to help me with the demo for sure, and let me teach you how to do the electrical so that you now have, I'm sure you already have the basic understanding and the basic skill of how to do it, but it would be not a big deal. You could learn something and I'd pay you for it. We just agree upon an hourly rate, or agree upon a price, or agree upon something. It's 2 days worth of work. How much do you want to get paid to work for 2 days for me? We'll figure that out. I don't have a ton of that type of work, and I don't want to create a ton of that type of work. Sorry, at the moment, I don't have a ton of that type of work. I don't know if that is what will happen in the future, but I don't want to try to create a bunch of that type of work. But I do need help, and I'm happy to get somebody else. I would love to have you do it if you were interested in it, because you can have money, we can hang out. It's just like, there's some good positive reasons for you to be the person to come and do it with me. We could also just film a freaking podcast episode while we did that. It'd be freaking hilarious. Okay. The other things is the Bible reading podcast. I have my own Bible reading podcast right now. I don't want to include you in mine, but the Bible reading podcast, I think I've actually come up with an easy idea to help you, to just help you brainstorm better about podcasting. Is if you just have something you're doing consistently, so you're every single day having to think about it, and you're every single day having to think about how to make a medium idea that you are executing on better, I think it will help you when you come up with a great idea, and you'll know how to execute on a great idea. So that's the reason I'm doing the Bible reading podcast. And you could start your own, because I don't have the rights to read the Bible on camera. Like, anybody can do that. And even if yours is successful, that doesn't make mine less successful. It actually, if yours becomes successful, mine will also become more successful as well, because more people will be interested in that type of content, and now we're both making that type of content. So that's the beauty about online content, is it's like you're selling your personality and your thoughts and your ideas and your communication skills. That's what you're selling. And every time that you sell it, it doesn't make everyone else's worse and less likely to be viewed. It actually makes everyone else's more likely to be viewed. And so if you wanted to do a Bible reading podcast, I'd be stoked to just tell you what I've done so far. I'm not protective over the idea. I am protective over my channel for it, I guess. So Bible reading podcast channel. These are just things I'm not really willing to share right now. I'm not willing to share John. I'm barely figuring out how to make money using him, and I just don't want to share him yet. Eventually, I'm not going to want to do that anymore, because I'm going to find a different, better way to make money. But at the moment, I'm nervous to share John. I don't want to share him with Sonny. I don't want to share him with anybody. And other people can find him. I just don't want to. Actually, I guess my relationship with John is what I'm protective over. I'm not even protective over him specifically. I'm protective over my relationship with him. I would rather not let a friend use him if it's going to strain my relationship with him than the inverse of that. Albert is kind of the same way. He's my granite guy, but not quite as much. I'm actually more okay because it takes him one day to do what he does. Like, it actually just takes him one day. He comes in, he puts his thing in, and he leaves. That's all he does. He actually, I could probably make more faster money if I just figured out how to line him up every single day, because I have someone for him to put the countertops in every single day. That would be awesome. That would be super killer. And it would be super easy to do that if we moved to Fontana. Anyways, beside the point. Nomad, I'm protective over, but not that much. Like, I wouldn't mind getting someone else involved, and for them to actually, it would have to be the right type of person. And it's like, there's a gentleman at our church who expressed interest in becoming a part of it super early on. And it made me nervous because I just didn't want him to be a part of it, is really what it was. But if I hadn't have let that get me nervous, maybe I would have involved someone else sooner. And also, that's another thing I was just talking to Caro about, is what am I supposed to do about people that I don't want to get involved with the things that I'm working on, who are expressing interest in getting involved with them. I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that type of thing yet. Anyway, that's a topic for a different time. Okay. Canvas and thread, I've already given that idea to Hannah, and I'm trying to partner with Hannah to go step forward on that, but I have other ideas that you could do with t-shirt stuff. I'm just gonna go back to this page. What have we talked about so far? We talked about Bible reading podcast, video game store / record idea. This is the first time I've talked about these two ideas anywhere, because I just had them this past week, and I'm waiting to make a longer video for my wife because I really want my wife to execute on this record store idea. There's a video game store here in Old Town, and there's a little like premium thrift store, I guess is the best way that I would describe it. It's a premium thrift store. There's a premium thrift store in Old Town Goleta, and I think Caro should, I'm gonna build Caro a record cabinet for her to present the lady at this store with this idea. Hey, how about this? How about you let me sell my records in your store? I'll have this record cabinet. I will put them in this corner. You don't get any of the profit from the records that I sell, but the thing that I will add value to you is I will work in your store 2 days a week for 4-hour periods. That way you can go do something else, or 1 day a week for an 8-hour period, whatever it is. And the reason that that's what Caro does is she's not trading away equity in the company idea for this. She is trading away her time, which is actually the easiest thing to be replaced by someone else. It's hard to get that percentage back that she could give the person. It's easy to figure out how to get Caro's time back. So the idea there is that Caro is going to do what she already loves to do, which is go to thrift stores and find cool records. She's going to get a collection going of records that she would want to sell to make this her job, and she is going to stick them in this record cabinet. They will be able to be sold there anytime that the store is open, and what the lady's gonna get a benefit from is Caro's gonna have an interest in more people shopping at that store, and Caro's gonna draw the same type of audience, but a bigger audience by having the records there, because people who like records also like thrifting. I don't know that that's a blanket statement that can be made, but it's probably generally true that those there's a big overlap in those two ideas. But that's my idea of Kara with the record cabinet. My next two things are the youth pastor and the college pastor thing. I gave a brief comment that, hey, this is perfect. I just want Kyler to go be the one to do it. My question is, are you interested in doing it? Would you be interested in being the youth pastor at Apostles Church if that position was ever needed to be hired for? Would you be interested in being the college pastor at Apostles Church if that position ever needed to be hired for? I decided at this point in my life, I'm not interested in either one of those two things. I have been very interested in those types of things in the past, but actually I think I'm not interested in those. I'm not interested in being the guy for either one of those things. I would love to be a helper for either one of those things, but I don't want to be the guy. I don't want to be the guy who is up there every week and preparing my sermons every week and be the one who's in charge of it. I would love if someone else would do that and I could support them and help them build it. So, are you interested in being a youth pastor? Are you interested in being a college pastor? My next idea is the coffee Airstream idea. This was an idea that I had a little while ago. Why don't, at Apostles Church, we get an Airstream, turn it into a coffee shop, and then we have a coffee shop at Apostles Church in an Airstream. It doesn't need to be at Apostles Church. It doesn't need to be an Airstream even. It's mostly the idea is let's build a coffee shop that is mobile. Let's build a coffee truck. Are you interested in building a coffee truck? Because you know that Anthem would hire us to let them use the coffee truck anytime we wanted. We could partner with Old Town Coffee and just say, hey, I want to build a coffee truck. Would you guys be interested in having a coffee truck? I'll split the profits with you 50-50. I'll build the truck and you guys can figure out where to store the truck, and you guys can provide the work and you guys can provide the infrastructure after I create the thing. Is that an idea you'd be interested in? The last idea on this list is an idea that I've had for a t-shirt company called Yuletide. The Yuletide idea is I want to. It's okay, baby. It's okay, little baby. I'll tell Kaya this one. Kaya, here's the Yuletide idea. I had it with my brother Taylor, and so I probably would have to check with Taylor if he would be okay if I give away the idea. But here's the general idea. We get Santa figurines and we put them places in 5 different locations in Santa Barbara, and you basically you take a picture of that Santa. It's a scavenger hunt, and there's also a t-shirt that people can buy with our cool Surfin' Santa logo on the front, and on the back it's a picture of the Santa figurine that is for the scavenger hunt. It's a picture of that with I'm not remembering. It's a picture of that as the back logo. So there's a t-shirt and an activity to do with that. It's expandable because it doesn't need to just be Santa Barbara. Once you make it a cool thing that's been done in Santa Barbara, you can do it in Southern California. You can do it at the Huntington area, at the SoCal area. You can do a NorCal version. We could move to Hawaii and do a Hawaii version. There is actually a bunch of ideas, but the Yuletide, I think, is a sick company name for it. Yuletide, because of tide, I guess. And it's just already a recognizable word. It's a recognizable Christmas word. It's also tide as a recognizable ocean word. I think Yuletide is the perfect name for that particular company. That is all of the ideas that I have for you. This video ended up being super, super long. Not sure. I might just send it to you anyways. To show you that, hey, I'm just pulling crap out of my butt. This could have been a podcast episode. We could have talked about it as a podcast episode, and maybe you and I just talk about this list that I made as our next podcast episode. We could do that. If I decide to, I'm definitely going to post this. If I decide to send it to you, you'll know. And if we decide to do a podcast episode about it, we'll know. So there's my list. I am positive and confident that you're going to figure something out. And I'm positive and confident that you don't need my help and my ideas, and none of my ideas need to be the idea that you go with. These are just ideas that I've had for myself that I haven't executed on yet, but most of them I think are good ideas. Some of them I think are good ideas. I'm going to make sure I print out that thing that Joe gave me. Based on that article that I read, I'm trying to be good about just giving my ideas away for free. Most of the things I just talked about is I'm not actually trying to give them to you for free. He was talking about hoarding ideas in that article. Honestly, that would be another thing. I've been meaning to film that particular video this whole month because I've only been messing around on YouTube for a month. I've been planning to do that for a whole month now, and I haven't yet. But that would be a fun thing for you and I to do, to just have a podcast. I wanted to do it with Joe because he was the one who recommended the thing to me. But I'm going to put that on here too. Would you be interested in a business reacts or a article podcast? The Business Reacts was just, hey, I make a reaction channel to business advice videos. The other one was a podcast where someone recommends an article to me. I read the article. It's okay, baby. It's okay. I read the article, and the reason that it could be successful is because if I'm talking about things that I'm interested in, I don't know what to do with all that. That's difficult. I am only interested in so many things, and the person I'm going to be talking to may or may not be interested in that thing. If I make someone else bring me something that they're interested in, and there's already content there, I don't have to invent the content. They don't have to invent the content. They just need to tell me, I like this article and it really impacted me. I like this book, and this small portion of the book, I want you to read this, 3-page, 10-page, not too many page article, and then let's talk about it. I think it'd basically be a book club podcast. The book club podcast is basically what that podcast is. So there's another idea. Do you want to start a book club podcast? There's the homeless idea, the homeless guy idea. I'm not even going to write it down. There's too many ideas. This is what that article that Joe recommended to me was all about. Anytime you have an idea for someone else, give them the idea for free. Maybe that's what it was, because some of these ideas are ideas for me, and I think it's okay that I'm protective over some of them, because I have to be protective over some of them. The Nomad one is an idea that I had that I am a little bit protective over, but I would be willing to let it go, maybe, probably. Any idea I have for someone else, though, I want to just give them to them. So everything I just did for you, this whole list, is actually not me coming up with ideas for you. This is wrong. This list says ideas for Keith. This list is actually ideas for Nate. And if you want any of the ideas that I'm willing to give you, I'd be stoked to help you on them. I think I just need to get to know you a little bit better, and I could probably help you come up with ideas for you. The problem is, these are things I've already thought through. These are things I know that I could make successful and exit. You know what? Ideas for Nate and Keith. Boom. All right. I think that's all that I have time for at the moment. I'm supposed to go hang out with you pretty soon. Sweet baby Kaya needs to go eat some food from her mama. Mama didn't let me post a thing to Instagram today, did she? Because it was going to be a little bit too inappropriate. But here's what the song was. I'm going to sing it right now for you. Actually, I'm not going to, because I'm going to respect my wife's wishes. Even though it wasn't that intense of a wish, she probably would be fine with it. I'm going to respect it anyways. Keith, if I ever send this to you, peace out, brother. Love you, man. I'm really excited to go film one podcast episode with you today. And if that's all that it ever becomes, awesome. At least we tried something. And if I can help you with your next career choice and career path, that would be awesome too. I love you, brother. Hope to make something work for us. Alrighty. Baby Kaya, this is your first shoot from the hip video. Say bye-bye, baby Kaya. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye.